Yeah, I feel much better. To answer your question, I feel like the meeting was very open and honest, which I feel like was necessary for all the drivers to get some things off their chest and their real concerns of what we've been going through and the experiences from inside the car. The frustrating part is it took way too long to have that meeting. That meeting should have happened Monday after Kurt's crash, not waiting till Alex had his crash to have a meeting, and at least hear us out. I'm not saying they weren't working on it after Kurt's crash, but the communication in person is so important. You guys know, you're sitting here, we used to do Zoom media, and can you tell me when you did all those Zoom calls that it was as good as being in person? No, you can't say those interviews are worth a crap compared to being in person. And it's the same thing when you're talking about your life in a race car. It's a little bit more important than that, and we should be in person having those meetings a lot, not when we need to, but before we need to. And I think those messages were heard loud and clear. There is a plan to try to help the rear impacts, as you guys know. But we need to stay focused on the rest of the car as well. There's a lot of other spots in the car we want to make better as well.
All right, additional questions for Joey? Okay, we'll take one more here.
Hey, Trent with frontstretch.com. You mentioned the rear impacts with this being a road course, a lot of heavy braking zones. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of bumping and banging. Are you guys kind of worried about the rear impacts here, even though it might be just like a light tap, maybe going into a chicane or something, or are you guys just not putting that out of your mind?
I mean, you just got to go race when it's time to go racing, right? I mean, and yeah, is the possibility there for injury? It always is. It's a race car. Got some kind of chance I'm going to have driving home from here. I'm going to take, right? So you try to assess the risk before you take it, and try to do the right things that you can control before you jump in the race car, right? That's your head surround, that's your helmet, that's your Hans, that's your the things I can control. I need to be ready for and do. And then, at that point, we need to keep communicating to NASCAR and their engineers and designing a car that accepts impact better.
All right, Dustin.
Dustin Long, NBC Sports. Joey, certainly in the last few weeks, we've heard from Kevin Harvick and Denny Hamlin have been very outspoken, very passionate, and anger about some of the safety issues. And I'm curious if that's a level 10, was the rest of the garage like a 9 or a 10 before this meeting? And can you give a sense of, does this meeting really quell anything, or is it as much about now you guys need to see words turn into actions?
We need to hold them honest now. We got a meeting out of it, and I hope that's not why we had the meeting, is because a couple of drivers got fired up in the media. I hope that's not how we make change in our sport. I hope that's not what we do. I think we're better than that. I hope we're better than that. But like I said, sometimes your emotions will get, I don't want to say the best of you, but sometimes you have to act out a little bit to make change happen and make sure you're heard. And, it seemed like it definitely made something happen.
Do you get a sense, and maybe it's too early, has anything been quelled? Is it everybody calmed down a little bit, or is it again?
It'll be calm when the car's fixed.